Hi, we are reflecting on the journey because our next Youth Congress will be on the journey in Valencia 2017. And one of the key speakers is with me, Gilbert Kenshi, the Youth Director of the General Conference. And Gilbert, you have a long journey with Christ, I guess. It's exciting a little bit to see what brought you to this place here and to be a speaker at Youth Congress. So what is your personal story? What is your personal journey with Jesus? What would you highlight?
Well, Stefan, I only have time for the crossroads, right?
Yeah.
So let me just hit the highlights of my journey if I can. I grew up in a Seventh-day Adventist home. My father was a pastor. And my mother used to call me the little prophet, right? Because I seemed to be doing everything right. That is until one particular point in time in my journey when something happened to my family. That's the first crossroad. And my father, who I love, whom I will see when Jesus comes again, had some personal challenges that he'd never personally resolved. So I was only 14 years of age when my father came home one day and made the announcement that he was leaving ministry and leaving my family as well. So overnight, that was my first crossroad. I lost my dad, I lost my pastor, I lost my hero. And at that time, I was attending the best high school in the island. I had a Werner Scholarship, and that the school that trained doctors and lawyers. But somehow I lost myself. I completely lost myself, lost interest in my studies, and eventually when I went to the final year of my high school, I failed. And I just didn't know what to do with my life. And this is when I decided that I didn't want anything to do with God, with church, and with family. That's when I signed up to travel and to become a ship captain. I said, if church doesn't work, family doesn't work, I'm going to take control of my life and travel, and this is what's going to bring me fulfillment. And so I left my little island in the sun and started to travel the world with the intention of becoming a captain. But soon, on board that ship, I realized that what I thought was going to bring me fulfillment actually brought me only emptiness. And in spite of my travel and money bulging my pockets, I felt empty. And I cried out to God. I said, God, if you really exist, can you do something for me? And in no uncertain term, God said, trust me. Put your life in my hands, and I got a plan for you. I resisted that initially because I said to myself, going home, there's nothing waiting for me there. And I said to God, well, next time the ship arrives in Mauritius, if there's a job waiting for me, I will leave. I went back, no job, so I went back again. But I could not resist God. God said, put your life in my hands. And so I decided to do that, and I signed off on one of my travels. And my captain did not quite understand the reason for it. But when I came back home, there was a job waiting for me, and God started to put the broken pieces of my life together. And soon enough, I got involved in my church as a local church youth leader, and one thing led to another. And I think another major crossroad in my life was understanding the power of the Holy Spirit. And God blessed us with a huge experience of transformation, just my youth group and myself. And my pastor sowed a seed in my mind. He said, have you ever considered full-time ministry? I didn't think that was necessary for me at the time, but it was years later that when I migrated to Australia, that the seed that the pastor had sown started to bear fruit, and I realized that God was calling me to full-time ministry, and I picked up where my father left off. I should tell you, when I gave my heart to Jesus and came back home, we went looking for my father. And my father came back home. He was rebaptized, and we sang for his rebaptism. So my journey has been enriched right from the beginning, the moment I gave my life to Jesus. And now I am passionate about what I do. And I guess the most important thing that I can do in the terms of ministry to young people is to tell my story. Is to say how God has the ability to transform, to change, and give hope in a hopeless world.
Wow. So You are now doing this also at the Youth Congress, and we are very glad that you're with us.
Absolutely.
And yeah, God is a God who is writing stories, incredible stories, as we journey with Him. And that's what we want to explore also at the Youth Congress, the next European Youth Congress in Valencia 2017. Just don't miss it.